happening? You guys, it is Tuesday Night Fever. It is, I know Christmas is over, but we just got to keep celebrating. We haven't put our tree down yet, obviously. Now it's a new year. We're getting to it. But I've stepped out of my office. My girls are asleep. Theoretically, if you're screaming in the background, you know what's happening. But I just want to get on tonight and talk about something that I'm really freaking stoked out. Like, just be on the moon, excited about. And we got to give some shout outs to some people today. They might have to be nameless shout outs because these people have just done so much to get this huge achievement in the past 40 days ish. If you look on the top here, I've said this is the $109,572 skill. I think that's the total number. We added things up, and I've just been blown away over the month. Generally, people think that they're not expert enough to pull this off, or they think that the timing's not right, or they think that someone else is already doing it. And I'm here to tell you tonight that you can just totally throw all those excuses out the window. If you're coming on here, say hi so that I can see you. I'm on my phone, so I can't see everyone. And my video is choppy as heck. Because I'm not on my Wi-Fi. Let's fix that. If you can hear me, let me know below. I'm on my phone, which I'm usually not. CJ's on here. Brooke, good to see you on here. People coming in. So I wanted to talk tonight about that skill that people don't, and but I will share something for these today. One of those tapes I got is the very first time I can't wait to stick to it. And he's actually one of the best in the country at it. He goes to these national competitions, wins all the time. Been a long time passion. And he always said, I wish that I could have something online where I could teach people how to do this, or just have a website at least. And so I've been pushing him, for a little while. Dad, we can do this. Come on, we got this. And he made the resolution last week to actually create a website and to start this whole process. And so today, I sat down with him, I took the day off, and made this whole website, got his first blog post up, created an email list, and I went through this whole process with him tonight that I'm going to share with you guys. And it was so dang satisfying. Like, I don't know what's going to come of this, right? Maybe it turns into a six-figure business. Maybe it's just a super fun side hustle that brings him a little bit. But it was really a moment of like, I learned this skill that I intended to have other people have options with, right? And now my dad was able to do this. So I want to talk to you tonight about what this skill is and how you're going to implement it in 2019. Okay, so I threw some big gigantic number, $109,572, something like that. And it's from 3 people that Will and I have helped cumulatively over the past 4 to 5 weeks launch products online. And these were not aimed at their existing patients. These are all PTs. All of them are PTs, practicing PTs who have had this income. One of them, let's just say it's been pretty drastic for all of them in terms of what it's meant for them. But the cool thing is, all of this income that they've generated is completely outside of their normal clinical care, meaning they don't have to see new patients now for this $100,000+. Okay. Now there's a little bit of work involved for them, but for most of them, a lot of the work is already passed. They front-loaded it, meaning they did the work a month ago or months ago, and now they get paid for it over and over and over and over. Who wants that in their life? Just say yes. Just say yes below in the comments if you want to hear, like, if you want that in your life, where you do work and then you get paid for it on an ongoing basis. Okay, JT's on here. Hey, on here. Good to see you. So here's the skill. Here's how it breaks down. Okay, Will and I are going to be making a push to get more people in this group doing this, and the reason is it just makes so much sense for you to be taking the skills that you have to a broader audience. Okay, Buffy says Buffy's the only one on here. So that's fine. So Buffy, let's have a conversation right now. Okay. But there's this idea that you aren't enough of the expert? Carrie says yes, by the way. Elizabeth raises her hand. Okay, y'all are coming in. I know there's a comment delay. Eric says yes. Amy says yes. Perfect. Jen, yes. Eric, yes. Andrew, what's up, man? You're on this train too. All right, so here's the plan, okay? Let me talk to you about the barriers first. I know a lot of you are feeling, because I felt them too as I started in on this. We're talking about creating some portion of a business online for you, right? Some sort of online income, okay? I'm just gonna lay out the entire plan tonight and the next steps for you, okay? So the first thing that people tell me is like, I'm not an expert, like people wouldn't pay me. I remember when I first started online and I felt like, hey, I'm new at this. I was a new grad. I felt like I had no place to be teaching people this stuff. When somebody told me, it was actually Greg Todd, he told me, you don't have to be the world's foremost leading expert on this. You don't. You just have to be a few steps ahead of the people that you're helping. And I started thinking about that. And I've heard that advice a lot and just sort of tossed it to the side. But I was like, no, what if he's right? Like, what if I know that I'm a little bit further ahead than some people in what I know, and I just start talking about it and sharing it, okay? JT, what's happening, man? Good to see you on here. So this idea that you're not an expert in it, you're not expert enough, is just total BS. This is total, like, mindset ain't there at all. I know a lot of you feel like Will and I now are on this, like, oh my gosh, you guys are crushing it, like, oh geez, how are you, like, Will and I still have these feelings every day of like, oh, we're not good enough, like, oh man. And you know what? If you put us in a room of digital marketers, well, maybe now we feel like we could hold our own a little bit better. But I tell you, a year ago, I felt like an absolute baby in that room, right? I felt like, oh no, like among digital marketers, like, no, I'm new at this, like, I don't know enough. But you put me in a room of physical therapists and suddenly I do know a lot more, right? And even a year ago, that was true. Well, that's the same for you and the audience that you're serving. Maybe among physical therapists, maybe among pelvic health therapists, maybe among manual therapy therapists, you don't feel like you're an expert or the world's foremost leading expert. But to patients, to people with the problem that you can help them solve, you are. And you have to have that mindset going into it. Amy, what is happening? This is for you tonight. I'm talking about creating an online course, creating some sort of online income, okay? Amy, listen to this right now. Nick's on, Andrew's on, Drew, dude, good to see you on here. Listen to this one. All right, so there's this idea that we're not good enough. I just want you to throw that out the window and assume for a minute, just assume for a minute that you are good enough, that you know enough right now that people would pay you to learn what you know. Because really, you're not going to learn all that much more. So this is the funny thing. I want you to think about this. You aren't actually going to learn that much more about your craft between now and when people will end up ultimately paying you for it in 2019. Like the craft itself, you're not going to learn a whole lot about. You don't need to improve the craft all that much. It's much more about how to serve people online. The methods of how do I build an audience? How do I find out what they want? How do I actually create a product for them? That's where you're going to learn stuff. But the whole idea of I'm not expert enough in my craft, total BS. Amy, for example. Amy, you know right now how to, I'm talking to Amy from Momentum PT, okay? Amy, you know how to get people from a discovery visit to signing up to become a patient really freaking well, right? Even though you might feel like, I'm not the best at it, I don't know. You know how to do it really well. A lot, like there are a lot of therapists on here who would want to learn how to do that, okay? There are a ton of people in your town, Amy, who have no clue about neck pain or back pain, who could benefit from you creating some sort of course around that. Like just flat out, you have the expertise there, okay? That's not a problem. Let's move on from that. The next thing is, I don't know where to start. Okay, here's where you're going to start. You're going to start on your personal Facebook profile, if nothing else. It is the best tool, okay? Will and I have talked about this a lot. We talk about it a lot in our course, Social Secrets, which, by the way, we have a ton of people who jumped in that course. We launched it about a week ago. We didn't really make a big fuss about it. We had one or two posts that we made about it as we led up to it. We got some really cool feedback from people. There's a video in there called I think it's the Instant Audience Method, where we teach you how to get an audience of 5,000 people on Facebook in a month. And we've had some people responding like, oh my gosh, this is so ninja. Totally true. Building an audience is actually not as hard as people think. There's some things that you can do to really, really speed that up. If you want to learn about that, if you're like, oh yeah, okay, maybe I should figure out what I'm doing on social media in 2019. Then just say social secrets. Just comment secrets below and we'll send you the link to that, okay? Or you can just go check it out at socialsecrets101.com. But regardless, the next step has to be learning how to build that audience online, okay? Expertise, you've got that covered. Learning how to build an audience, that's why you're here in Healthcare Digital Marketing, okay? That's what we're gonna talk about that all year long. And we want to let you know that the easiest way to do that is probably through your personal Facebook page. Hey, thank you, Farley. Farley's in there. She's gotten rolling on it. Dawn, if you're on here, I know Dawn just hopped in today. Farley, you saw that video, right, on the how to build the instant audience method on Facebook. Wasn't that ninja? It was so much fun. Creating that video, Farley, I wanted to make that video for so long. Jane's on here. Good to see you, Jane. So, the essence of what we are doing with this plan, the people who made this $100,000, they built an audience online, okay? One of them had an email list of about 1,000 people. Most of them were past patients, okay? Another of them built an audience on Instagram. Killing it on Instagram, by the way. But it happened in about 1.5 years, 2 years, not all that long at all. And the other one built an audience through a Facebook group, okay? So we have 3 totally different platforms. Email list, Instagram, Facebook group. So the platform really doesn't matter. And in fact, you should just pick one. Just pick one platform, okay? Focus on it really hard for the next 3 to 6 months. And that's what I told my dad. So my dad started a website today and I said, look, the website is going to be one form of traffic, but ultimately you need to build a place where people can come and congregate, and you need to get traffic. You need to be out there where people are at. People are not magically on your website. Even if you have a great website, the world's best website, you have to get people there. Now, you can get traffic through Google searches, but in the social media world, you get traffic by creating content that people care about, that solves their problems. So that's what all 3 of these people have done over time. The one who had an email list decided, hey, I'm an expert in this thing, and I could create a course around it. So he did, and Will helped him build a course. And we do this a lot with people. We help them build courses. Sometimes we're not actually helping them build it. Sometimes we're just helping them market it. But if you have an audience, then it makes this process really pretty straightforward. You figure out what your audience wants. You look at what are their needs, right? What do they come to me for? So one person built a running course. Another person built a stretching course. Another person built a pain course, a chronic pain course. All 3 of those people absolutely killing it. Well, what's up? Dude, the secrets are so good in there. YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Ooh, social secrets, you guys. You got to check it out. But you build the audience, okay? How do you build the audience? You start giving value to people, all right? You start looking at what problems do they have. Now, I was talking with someone else this week, and they've been building an audience for a while. And they reached out and they said, we were just discussing back and forth. They're a little bit frustrated. What's up, Ray? Good to see you, man. They're frustrated about not being able to build the audience fast enough. They're feeling like their efforts weren't out there. So I gave some advice. I said, we need to start looking at more micro problems, not just talking about the big picture stuff and being vague, but I want you to start hitting specific problems. Like, what things can you not do that I can help you solve? So again, if it's running, then don't just say, hey, do you want to run better? Are you sick of not being able to run? Are you sick of not being able to hit your PRs? Well, let's talk about something more specific. Do you feel like crap after your runs? Do you feel like your legs are about to fall off? You get a huge, do you get tons of burning pain on the side of your leg after you run? Well, I've got a course on that, right? IT band syndrome, whatever, right? Get really specific in the problems that you're talking about with people. Ray says, working hard on it with what you guys have taught me. Boom, love it, Ray. Get micro specific with your topics, okay? Start talking about, and the reason that this is so important to get so micro specific with your topics is because you can see what people care about. That's how we figure out what your audience wants from you. You talk about that and you see what's the response on there. Now, I get social media is not just all about likes. It's not just about that. But those are metrics that inform you as to what people care about. So talk about a variety of those things. Even if you think someone's not going to care about it, get specific enough and know that, yes, I have seen someone for this problem before. Someone has come to ask me about this problem. Get super specific about it. See how it does. No response? Awesome. Move on to the I say this now in my position. It's not that hard. It is hard. It's hard to get in front of the camera. It's hard to come up with what you're saying to people, but it's not inherently difficult or mysterious. It's giving lots of value to people early on, figuring out what their problems are so that you can figure out what solution you need to create for them. And that is the other big thing. Each of these three people who right now have netted a total of $100,000 did not say, hey, I have this great idea. I want to go sell it. They said, hey, I want to build the audience and I'll figure out what they want. So please, I told this last week to y'all. I said, don't build the product first and then go force it on people. Don't fall in love with your idea, with your product, with a course, with anything that you're trying to sell someone. Fall in love with the audience and then figure out how you can best serve them, okay? I guess if I were to put this into steps, I would say, number one, get your mindset right. You are enough of an expert right now to start doing this. And then over the course of 2019, I mean, think about it right now. I want you to think about this right now. I did this exercise the other day. And I want you to think about yourself at the end of 2019. And I want you to picture yourself getting scared and retracting into your safe space. And the version of you that's like, yeah, but today I don't want to do that live stream. That version of you over and over and over for the next 364 days, where do they end up at the end of 2019? Okay? Where does that version of you end up? Versus, where does the version of you end up that says tomorrow, hey, I should do a live stream on this right now. I'm feeling it. I don't really quite know what I'm going to say. I don't even know if anyone cares about it, but I'm just going to go do a live stream on my personal page about it. What does the version of you look like that ends up doing those little things each day, getting just a little bit uncomfortable, putting themselves out just a little bit, having a conversation with a person that you can help? What that person like versus the version of you that retracts every day into the safe space? It could be a massive difference. You guys, if Will and I hadn't gotten uncomfortable, like really, really uncomfortable, we would not be in the position right now where we have a business that is allowing us to, at some level, support ourselves. Hey, look, Buffy just got into, I just got a text. Buffy takes immediate action, you guys. Buffy just got Social Secrets. Buffy, go into Social Secrets. I want you to go into the Facebook video, okay? Go into the Facebook module and go under where it says Intro to Facebook. Watch that. Watch the first video on the Facebook algorithm and then jump to the instant audience method, okay? Please, please, please go look at instant audience method before the night is over. I think there's 4 videos before that. You need to see it, okay? Buffy, I love Buffy. She just takes immediate action. It's so funny. Socialsecrets101.com, by the way, guys, if you want to look at that course. It's only $147. People have told us that that single video is worth more than that, so go get it before we decide that it's worth more than that. But where would Will and I have been if we decided, no, I don't want to do a live stream? Like, where would I be if I decided one week, I don't think I should do Tuesday Night Fever anymore, and I just slacked off and I just let it drop? Buffy says, I was so busy, you just reminded me. Well, thanks for taking action, Buffy. I am just so glad that I got outside of my comfort zone, that I got over my own mindset enough to feel like, hey, I do have something I can help people with right now, okay? More than anything, I want this to be freaking inspiring to see that other people, your peers, 3 of them have combined to make $100,000 in the past 4 weeks. Holy crap, right? And that's only the beginning. That's a new product launch for each of them. It's a brand new product for each of them. One of them was $100, one of them was $197, and one of them was like $800. Okay, and we're not talking like huge, crazy, big things and gigantic, massive programs. They're like fairly reasonable programs that you could create. What is the version of you right now going to do? Okay, you're at this crossroads in 2019. You have the decision right now. Do I take the risk of putting myself out there, of saying, oh man, I know that some therapists, some of my peers are going to say, oh, what are you doing? Like, I know I'm going to take that risk, but I'm going to do it because I feel like I have something to give to the world, and this is the year to do it. Like, you have that route, or you have the route of like, I'm comfortable. I actually don't want to make any extra side income this year. I'm very happy with my financial state, with my personal like well-being, my mental well-being, and I know that if I just keep status quo, I'll be just fine at the end of the year. if you're in healthcare digital marketing, if you're part of the mob squad, the My Own Boss squad, we know that that's not your mindset right now. Brendan, Damon, as you're just jumping on, you've got to decide right now that over the next 365, 64 days, you got to go towards what you want this year, okay? I've just seen it so many times now that as people start putting themselves out there, realizing that it's going to be hard, that it's going to suck. I mean, when we were setting up this website today, we had all these roadblocks and stuff that came up. But then we finally got it done, and it was so fun. It was so freaking fulfilling to see my dad's face as he's like, oh, I have a website now. It was just the most fun thing. And then it was like, all right, Dad, this isn't like, we can't stop here, right? Now we got to go create an email list. Now we got to go think about creating something that people are going to want to opt in for, a lead magnet. That's the next step. I didn't lay it all on. I actually gave him steps from a big course for PTs. So they have the whole roadmap. But if you were thinking about starting something in 2019 online, again, this is your roadmap. Number one, get over your own BS. You are enough of an expert to the people that you will be helping. Number two, even if someone is doing what you want right now, it's just validation that the market will pay for that. Find a way to do it differently, do it in your own flavor. Because there are other people who will resonate differently with you, okay? If Will and I had said, oh gosh, there are actually 3 or 4 other people talking about digital marketing in healthcare, so we're just not going to do it. Because that was very much a thing. That was very much a thing, you guys. There are definitely people who are already talking about digital marketing before us. Greg Todd, Aaron LeBauer, Paul Goff, Ben and Gene, the UpDoc guys, Chad Madden. Like, there's a bunch of awesome people doing it, right? But what we didn't say was, they're already doing it. We don't have anything to add, so we might as well just retract into our little rabbit hole. Like, no! We were like, oh, look, everyone that we see doing things isn't doing one thing. They're not showing people directly how to do it. Like, where's the step-by-step stuff? Okay, like that's where we can insert ourselves. That's where we'll give our flavor of things. And I also don't see them getting in groups every day, right? That's not their flavor of doing things. It's our flavor of doing things. Hopefully that's why you're here. You can't let yourself stop just because someone else is doing something similar, okay? So, A, get over your mindset. B, you got to figure out who that audience is that you can fall in love with. For us, it's you guys. It's practice owners. It's students. It's people trying to do their own thing. Hi, babe. My wife just came home. But like for us, we love working with you guys. We just absolutely love it. We love helping people who are trying to do their own thing, to build their own business, to get out of crappy student debt, to be the ones saying, I don't like how therapy is done. Well, great. Do it your own way. Like, you don't have to do it the status quo. We love helping you guys. We're passionate about that. Will and I talk about that all the time. Talk about that. And so you have to do that same thing. Find that group of people. Maybe it's cyclists. Maybe you just feel like, man, I just love cyclists. I love that it's a group of people who are getting out there, hitting it on Saturdays, even though they're not like elite athletes. I love that they're trying to get themselves better. Great, serve that audience. Go find an audience that, like a group of people that you could get fired up about helping, okay? Makes this job so much more fun. It makes the whole thing easier. And if you resonate with the people that you're ultimately going to serve, they'll resonate with you, okay? That's number 2, mindset, audience. Then it's figuring out what problem they have that you can solve, and then it's getting on social media like crazy. Pick one platform, whether that's Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Pick one of those. Probably Instagram, YouTube, probably Instagram or Facebook starting off, okay? And to be honest, I feel like Facebook is the best. Facebook groups, Facebook personal profiles. Those are the 2 that I would look at starting, okay? After that, then we look at what is it that they actually want from me, right? We go start creating content. I do live streams. I figure out what they want. And then we say, hey, what if I were to create a program on I don't know, pre-game stretching for basketball players, like for high school athletes? Is that something you guys would want? Or would you rather have me do this, right? Whoever that target audience is, just start asking them. Get on the phone with them. Do you know how many phone calls we had before we ever sold one thing? Because we had to figure out what people needed from us, and what people wanted. Getting on the phone, talking to people, having messenger conversations is the best way to figure out what product you should be creating for people. The best way. After you figure that out, then you go do a little beta launch. You don't have to do some big gigantic thing, right? You say, hey, I've got this product. I think I want to try it out. I'm going to have a group of 10 people, of 20 people try it out. It's going to be $50. It's going to be $100, whatever that is. And you validate that people will pay for it. You don't even have to build it. In fact, you probably shouldn't build the whole thing first. One of the people who just absolutely crushed it over the past 2 weeks, it's a pre-launch. It's a pre-launch. Like the whole thing isn't even done yet. It just blows my mind. Blows my mind. This is the way that online business is done. Like if you don't believe me, this is how it's done over and over and over. Okay. Then once you do a pre-launch, you get some people results, you over-deliver for them, they give you testimonials, and all of a sudden, boom, you have results. That's when you can take it to a bigger level, right? And then you look at, okay, how do I market this thing, right? This whole online game, you guys, is about building an audience, finding out what their pain points are, and then being able to market. Okay, that's really it. If you want help with the marketing side of things and the building an audience side of things, that's where Will and I come in. We have our Social Secrets course. That's the organic social media growth. If you want to blow up on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or LinkedIn over the next year, I would highly recommend that course, socialsecrets101.com. Buffy just got it. A bunch of other people have just gotten it. And that's what I recommend. Then once you get the organic side of things figured out and you're like, hey, I have a business, I have a following, I have a product, now I need to scale that, then that's where you come talk to us about your ads plan, okay? One of the people that we've helped do this over the past few weeks, they've had a very significant launch, like kind of getting close to the 6-figure mark. And it took a couple of strategy calls, right? Because they were in the right place. And it's something that we've been helping them from early in the year sort of get up to speed with. And then it was getting on a strategy call. And from those strategy calls, we can say, hey, this is what you got to go do. Boom, 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 boom. If you don't feel like you can actually execute on that, if you're like, oh, those steps overwhelm me, well, that's why we have our big course, Ads for PTs. Because it's step by step, 1, 2, 3, like follow the plan. That's why we create it. So if you're sitting there like, man, I'm overwhelmed. What do I do next, Alex? Okay, go through that checklist. A, clear out the mental cobwebs, right? Get your crap together personally. B, figure out who you want to serve. C, go figure out what their problems are by creating content and talking to them. Okay, build the audience. I think we're on D. D, go create a small product to test. And then after that, you refine and blow it up through your marketing. Okay, that's the plan. That's the game plan. These 3 people generated $100,000 together over the past 4 weeks. That's exactly what they did. It's exactly what you can do too. It happens far faster than you think. My dad today, as we were creating his website, he was talking about how he has this conference in August and he'd like to have a website up so that by August he could send someone to it. I was like, Dad, let's get the website up right now. We got the website up in a day. That's not hard. He's got content out the wazoo because he's been writing for years. Okay, great. Let's create the content. You get the content up in 2 weeks. Boom, let's create a lead magnet and an opt-in page. We can do that in a week. And then you could start a Facebook group, Dad. We looked at his thing. By the way, if you're trying to choose like what platform do I go on, look on Facebook. Go search whatever your niche is and look at Facebook groups. If there are people in other groups, that's a very good sign. Okay? It's a very, very good sign. Christina, how are you? Garrett is on here. Y'all, there's so many of you on here. John, guys, thank you so much. By the way, Carrie said I started a running club online for female runners who want to get fit, run fast, and burn fat. 500 people are signed up and doing a free 5-day challenge. Then I invite them into the training club. Carrie, that's amazing. So cool. I hope that you're going from free to paid. I'm assuming that's what your training club is. If you want to talk to us about strategy on that, feel free to reach out. Will and I are starting to do more strategy calls with people as we're leading towards, how do we help people at a higher level this year? And that's with the intent of like, hey, here are our programs. This is how we can help you out. Let's see if we're a fit. If that's something that you're like, hey, I actually think I'm really ready for like a paid advertising strategy in my business. I'm ready to do the scaling part. Maybe I have a little bit of an audience. I know who I'm serving. I have a product. Maybe that's physical therapy. Maybe that's an online product. Then let's talk. That's what Will and I are doing all the time. Okay? All the time. We have this big course, Ads for PTs. It's a very clear step-by-step. Like, not only do we tell you what you should be doing, but we show you exactly how to do it. And we're getting on strategy calls with people. But that's the plan, you guys. That's totally the plan. I just want you to think right now, in 2019, does it sound doable for you to go through that process? Clear out the cobwebs, to figure out who you serve, to grow that audience, and then to figure out what they want from you. Those 4 things, does that sound doable to you? Just say doable below if you feel like that's doable, okay? If you're working on here, if you're one of the 19 that's listening right now, I want you to say doable. If it feels overwhelming, then just say overwhelmed. That's just fine. I get that. James just got into Social Secrets. Dude, I can't wait for you to see 4th video in the Facebook section. James just got into Social Secrets. If you guys want in on that, Social Secrets 101. But if you feel like this is doable, just say doable below. If you're feeling overwhelmed, say overwhelmed. If you are feeling overwhelmed, here's what you need to do next. I know this is a long live stream, but I'm kind of fired up about it. Amy says it's doable. Amy, that makes me happy. You got to do this. Damon says, yep. Gabby says doable. Eric says doable. You guys, this is totally doable. If you're feeling overwhelmed, this is the key. Very intentional focus, okay? Intentional focus. Guys, I have just deleted so much from my life in a very good way. I blocked my entire Facebook newsfeed. I took out all video suggestions on YouTube. I password protected websites that I go to when I want mental distraction. I go to news sites and I read about the Utah Jazz, and I just password protected those websites so that I have to go through like 3 steps in order to let myself get distracted. Like, I'm that serious about things this year. Because I'm not going to be the version of myself that at the end of the year says, yeah, I scrolled my Facebook news feed. Or, yeah, I went and I read the news instead. Or, oh, I went on a YouTube binge instead of fulfilling my potential. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not. So I blocked my Facebook news feed. I took out all of YouTube suggested videos. And I freaking slaughtered all of my distractions online. Like, it's done. That's it. Like, it's game over now. Now I just have my plan. Boom, 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 boom. Gabby, how do I block my newsfeed video suggestions? There are some Facebook apps. Or sorry, not Facebook apps. There are some Google apps that do it. I need to do a video in here on this. I feel like it's important enough. I'll do a separate video on that, Gabby, over the next week, and I'll post it in here and I'll tag you in it, because it's been a really big part of my 2019 is very intentional focus on what I'm doing. And I think it needs to be for everyone in here as well. So this has gotten long. I've been ranting. I'm just fired up about this, guys. The plan is pretty simple. That's it. There's not anything like super magical special other than that. Okay? That's it. You just need to focus and do those things in that order that we talked about, okay? If you want to get on a strategy call with us, Will and I are putting together an application. What we're going to be doing, we're making ourselves available over the course of the next few weeks. We're going to be opening up some times to talk with people who are really serious about moving forward on this in 2019, specifically on the paid ads side. If you're like, yeah, I'm really ready for this. I have a business that's been doing pretty well, but I really need to take it up a notch, and I want a plan to be able to do that. I want guidance for it, and I'm ready for some serious help. Just say apply below. Just write apply. We'll send you a private message. We're not going to be able to talk with everyone just because our time doesn't permit that. But for the people who it's right for, who are ready to do paid advertising, and who are actually willing to implement it, we would love to get on a call with you over the next couple of days or weeks. Just say apply below. Again, we'll message you. Guys, this has been Tuesday Night Fever. This is a little bit of a longer one because 2019 is going to be big for a lot of you if you choose for it to be. Okay? I freaking love you guys. You're the Mob Squad. We are becoming my own boss, right, in this group, and there's some huge things coming for it. Damon, we'll get back to you, man. We'll reach out to you over the coming 2 days with a message. Will's just putting together the little application right now so that we can sort of screen and see who's best fit, and it'll help you decide too if you're a good fit or not for what we're talking about. But again, if you want to check out socialsecrets101.com, that's our brand new course. It's $147. We want to make it super accessible for everyone on how to blow up online on the organic side if you're just getting started, or if you've already got an audience but you want to be able to get more people seeing your posts, more interactions, so that you can test all of these things that we talked about. Socialsecrets101.com. A bunch of people have jumped in and are loving it, and I actually have one more video that I'm going to add to it, which I absolutely can't wait for. It's how we do 5-day series in this group. and online. It's a really cool thing that gets engagement way up and really helps solidify you as an expert really early on with people. So, socialsecrets101.com. Just apply below if you want us to reach out to you over the next couple days. And guys, we will see you over the course of the coming week. Go start crushing 2019. It starts tonight. Don't be the version of yourself that recesses into the comfort zone. Get uncomfortable. Do things that make you stretch and that move you towards the version of yourself that you want to see at the end of 2019. Freaking love you guys.